Good morning all. So here we are back in the cold garage again this morning. So what we're looking at here is my Longer Ray5. I initially bought it as a 10 watt machine, but if you may have noticed, I have a 20 watt module. So what you have to do is you have to remove the standard backplate. Now this isn't quite standard. Ignore these silver holes at the moment. So that would normally be on there. So you need to take that one off and you fit this small triangular one, which allows this V-groove sliding mechanism to sit on, and then the laser slides down in there and you do up those pinch bolts to secure the laser. Now, those of you that have seen this video popping up on the screen now, my fine focus system for the 10 watt, don't worry, I've got that almost done for the 5 watt. I'm going to do that after filming this video to make sure the 5 watt works. And I am working on the same sort of principle to fit this backplate. It's proved more difficult, but it's version 1 works very well. Version 2, it's just great. You have to wait for that video to come out. But today, what I'm showing you is how I'm going to use my 10 watt laser, so that's got part of my fine focus system on it, on a laser that has been adapted for a 20 watt laser. Now those of you who have done it, so if you had a 5 or a 10 watt, and I'm talking about longer here, so those of you who have done it will know that on my system I end up with a 5 pin plug, because the whole wiring harness all gets replaced, because you have a limit switch here now and a limit switch here. So that means you need to take your control box apart. It's very easy. Unplug your existing harness and put the new harness in. So what that leaves you with is a 5 pin plug, and that fits obviously nicely into the 20 watt module. I believe it also fits the 30 and 40, but if someone can confirm that, that would be great. Now for the 10 watt and 5 watt, you have a 3 pin module, a 3 pin plug. So what I've done here, if you follow the lead up, that's 3 pin, so that's your standard, and I've made an adapter. So what I can do now, I can plug that wiring harness, that, into that, and now this is the most vital thing, so please pay attention, otherwise you're going to let the magic smoke out of your 10 watt laser. Those of you who have done this know the 20 watt is a 24 volt system. 20 watt is a 24 volt system. 10 watt is a 12 volt system. Do not do this unless you change the power brick. This is the big power brick that comes with your 20 watt. You can see it's 24 volt. This is the smaller power brick, 12 volt. So make sure that you change over the power supply to make sure you've only got 12 volts going into the control panel. If you leave the 24 volt power in there, as soon as you turn it on, you're going to release the magic smoke. So that is my warning over. I'm now going to continue showing you how I fit that onto there. So I'm just going to pause the camera. I'm going to remove these 4 bolts to take this V-slot mechanism off that backplate. So there we have the backplate removed. Now before I installed this backplate, what I did, this triangular backplate we're talking about here, what I did, I overlaid it on this backplate and used the 4 screw holes to mark through onto this backplate so I could drill and countersink the holes. So now what I can do is, using the same screws, I'm going to screw that on there like that. So I've now got my standard 10 or 5 watt backplate screwed onto the front of the 20 watt backplate. Now what you need to do, you do need the fine focus system. So that's just going to slip over. First mistake, Andy. So I need to alter. Okay, this is my... So now, if you've got the standard fine focus system, you do need to adapt it slightly. I believe you're going to need to cut this bit off, because I think that's going to stop it. Yeah, that stops it from going down. So I'm going to now just trim this off. So I've just had to adapt the standard 10 watt fine focus system by cutting out the middle section and just filing back this section here so that it fits on the... You can see where I've filed out the black. You can see it's now both sides, to make sure this now fits just past the triangular 20 watt backplate. So that now will slip on there like so. And now I will push in my 10 watt laser. So there we have my 10 watt laser now fitted. And you can see I no longer use the smooth slider because we have 3 points of contact. We've got the 2 bolts. Now you would have the standard thumb screws here. I've used sprung loaded bolts here because that's all that's needed to secure the laser. And with the 3rd point of contact here, the laser module doesn't wobble around. I just need to do these up to the right tension. And there we go. So now what I can do, I'm going to double check that I've got my double check that you've got the right power supply fitted. So here is my 20 watt, my 24 volt power supply disconnected. This is my 3-pin to 5-pin adapter. Let me plug it in. So I've swapped over power cords. The one without the blue tape for me is 12 volt. The one with the blue tape is 24 volts. Turn the laser on. Don't worry, I know my screen's upside down, but see other videos why that is. And there it is, my laser's powered up. No magic smoke. So that's how I do it. I will show you in another video how I make this lead if anyone's interested. But now I've got some parts to cut, and I will come back once they are cut, because I am adapting this fine focus system today to fit my 5 watt laser. So you can see the 5 watt is a lot smaller because I want to test my 3D printed nozzle. You can just see that there. Getting some light, 3D printed nozzle. So what I'm going to do is, once I've cut the part of my 10 watt, because I know what settings I'm using on that, going to make a new plate for the top here, swap my 10 watt for my 5 watt, and then doing some burn tests on this between using the witch's hat with an adaptation, using the standard longer cone, and then using my 3D printed cone. So that's what I'm up to.
Thank you for making it to the end of my videos, much appreciated. If you like what I'm doing and I've earned your trust and respect, perhaps you would consider subscribing. If you leave a comment, I will answer them as well. And if you give me a thumbs up, it will put a smile on my face. Perhaps you would like some of the videos popping up now. See you in the next one.